At the FBI, some agents have started to pack up their desks as fears of mass firings grow. As early as this week, hundreds, even thousands of FBI agents could be shown the door after senior FBI officials and prosecutors who worked on January 6th cases were forced out. But in New York, a top agent is vowing to dig in, a kind of grassroots start in a fight against what critics say is a series of moves by Donald Trump that will make the U.S. less safe. NBC's Ken Dilanian is following this for us from Washington, D.C. So, Ken, what is going on at the FBI right now?
Chris, it's not an exaggeration to say that the FBI is in a state of crisis, and that's according to dozens of current and former FBI officials that we've been talking to at NBC News. They have never seen anything like this, where a group of agents has been targeted because of a case they worked on that in many cases they were assigned to, they were ordered to. And I'm talking about, of course, the January 6th Capitol riot investigations. The acting director of the FBI has been ordered to turn over a list of names of people who were involved in that investigation. We're told they used the FBI case management software to figure out that there were 2,400 cases and as many as 5,000 or 6,000 people involved. And look, there were people who believed that they were going to be fired today, who were told that they would be fired today. Now, that hasn't happened. As far as we know, we have not seen any firings today. But there is a great fear that there are going to be mass firings of people because they worked on the January 6th case. And that is just unprecedented in American history. And as you said, the other thing that's remarkable about this is bureau leadership is publicly pushing back on the Trump administration. Brian Driscoll, the acting director of the FBI, who was installed by the Trump administration, has issued guidance and messages to the workforce saying that he doesn't understand exactly why these names are being provided, but it shouldn't be seen as an indication of misconduct. And he said that FBI agents can't be fired without due process. And as you said, the head of the New York field office, in a strongly worded email yesterday, saying, look, we're in a fight here. People are being targeted because of cases they worked on. That's not right. We're going to, as you said, dig in. So it seems to be a standoff at the moment, Chris, with Kash Patel awaiting confirmation. He, by the way, has not said a word. And I have inquiries to every Republican senator on the Judiciary Committee. So far, no comment from any of them today, Chris.
All right. Ken Dilanian, thanks.